Hello, everybody. Just come on in. I know I didn't give a notice or anything. I wanted to come on here and watch this plea with Stephen Stearns. It's coming on now, I believe. Hold on. We're going to go there just a minute. Sorry to everybody. I apologize. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hello. Sorry. I think, hey, Lori. Hey, Susan. Hey, H. Davis. Hey, Sweet Misery. Hello. Good to see you, honey. I'm sorry. I'm just going live with this. I didn't even get a chance to do anything, y'all. I've slept late this morning. Hold on just a minute. Let me give full credit to Court TV here. Full credit to our friend Court TV. There we go. Okay. Hey, Not Crazy by Crazy Lady and Holly S. and Susan and Dawn and VA Dynamics and everybody coming in. Hello. Y'all let me know if I'm doing something wrong. I don't think it started yet. Hold on just a minute. I am sorry. And thank you for the copyright. I hear they're going to allow, I'm not sure, but I hear they're going to allow the impact statements. Love you, Holly. Thank you so much for being a member. Thank you so much for being a member. Love you for 6 months. Love you more. Love you longer. Is what I'm trying to say. Hey, Elaine. Hello, everybody coming in. Hello. Welcome in, everybody. So please, my mods, if you're here, I'm sorry I didn't give anybody any notice. Y'all, I almost slept till 11 o'clock today, believe that or not, but I guess it was much needed. And also, let me turn well, I don't know if it would do any good to turn mine on or not. Maybe. I don't know. If y'all don't like that, let me know and I'll turn it off. I learned to do that. But it's going to go over theirs, I guess. I'm not sure. But if Court TV comes on and I'm doing something wrong, let me know. They are our friends and they, are really good about letting us. Y'all go over and sub up to Court TV. They have all the latest everything. Yes, and please use caution and discretion. So it come out for what? Friday? He was going to take this plea deal. I was just floored. I honestly, to goodness, was floored. I wasn't sure. But he got death off the table and they want to secure him never getting out. Well, he should never get out anyway, in my opinion. But that's just me. That's just me. Is there a reason this is not playing, y'all? Hold on a minute. Hold on. Good Lord. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. Oh my God. Hold on. So I guess we're still waiting. I'm baffled too. I am baffled too. And the mom, I think she should be held accountable, but that's just my opinion. I really do. Good morning, Leslie. Keep it real. Hello. Good morning. Welcome in, Tina Davis. Welcome in, everybody. So yeah, I'm just baffled at this. I don't understand why they're giving all these people plea deals. Love you all. Thank you for being here. We're going to be watching our Court TV. trigger warnings, definitely. I want to see the impact statements if they allow those. I hear they're going to, but I don't know. I read that. I read that they were. So, yeah. I can't imagine. I hope everybody's feeling okay today. Welcome, welcome. Hold on. Y'all just hang tight. I'm sorry I didn't give no notice and I just popped up. Sorry. All my stuff is like going cray here. Let's see. What is he up for? Justice system. Everyone is pleading. Yeah, no accountability. No accountability at all. I mean, I don't call that accountability, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Hey, little Redo, good to see you. Good to see you. So y'all all know. I guess everybody coming in here knows who he is. He's the Florida man that was accused of essaying and abusing and murdering 13-year-old Madeline Soto. So that part. And it surprised many when the plea deal came in. I believe it came in on Friday. He initially pleaded not guilty to the RAPE and capital murder charges. Please don't put anything negative out about Maddie. That's what they don't want either, because see, it would have all come out in trial. It all would have come out in trial. So I guess that's why too. Satan Stearns, absolutely. Stearns and Jenna hold him trigger warning. Absolutely, they are. I feel, in my opinion, they could have got the mom. I don't even know if they still can, but I think I don't know. She knew what was going on. I don't either. She was a beautiful young little girl. It was so sad. Beautiful. But by entering this plea deed, he could face life imprisonment without parole, and that's what one of the stipulations is. But he's not. I guess they're taking the death penalty off the table. They'll detail all of this. She covered for him, in my opinion. She sure did. Not crazy. That's right. Maddie's the victim here, not Satan. Maddie is the only victim here. Yeah, it also stops appeals. It does. It also stops appeals. Y'all hear me shaking and rattling. I got all my stuff going on. I cannot believe I slept so late today. I really cannot. Here we go. I'm going to mute this when they come in, and I'm just going to mute it. I'm going to take all my morning meds. I'm going to mute this. I'm going to let y'all talk amongst yourself. And I'll come back and talk in just a minute. I want to definitely hear this, but wait a minute. I'm trying to see if they're bringing him in. Hold on. I think that's what they're doing. You know what would be funny one day? Not funny, but if one of these judges said, no, I'm not accepting no plea, taking it to trial. I'm just saying it could happen, but I doubt this one it will. That's my understanding too, and that's definitely what I want to see. Oh God, Little Red, I wonder if her mother's going to speak. Oh, she was part of it. I don't know if I can handle that. But anyway, yeah, that's what I understand. They're going to read the victim impact statements today, which is a good thing. Because I don't like them doing this and then putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. Get it all over with. Hey, Christy Smith. Hello, good morning. I don't know what's wrong with this world. It's horrible. Yeah, Kentucky Life, you're probably right. I doubt she will too. I doubt because she probably turned everything she could over on him and rolled over just so she didn't have to face anything. But she's still guilty of sin, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm gonna mute this just a minute, y'all, and do all the things. Again, I'm sorry I'm late. Full credit goes to Court TV. Fair use, we'll stop it back and forth and all that kind of stuff. But they're our friends and they want to get the news out just like we do. So I will say this. I personally, if it would have been a trial like Megan Boswell's and stuff like that, I wouldn't have covered it because I don't think I could hear all the bad things. I just don't. So I would have to rely on other people for doing that. But because this is a sick case, in my opinion. Sick case. All right, hold on. I'm going to stop it just a minute. And I know it does, not crazy. And I'm so sorry. Thank you for being here. But there's that monster now. Ugh. Thank you for being here, not crazy. And thank you for all you do.
Floor versus Sephin, Michael Stearns, 2024, CF 1293, 2024, CF 632. Appearance for the record, beginning with the state, please.
Danielle Pennell,
William J.
for the state.
On behalf of the defense.
Alicia Smith. Beth Borden.
Peter Mills, Alex Johnson.
Ruth Walker might be via online.
Okay, because that's them. They're low, not me.
State, we have an online presence named Stephanie. Is that representative from the survivor family?
Yeah, sure.
Court has admitted an online presence, Stephanie. Also admitting Russ Walker. Court has received 2 plea forms, one for each of the cases for CF 1293, 2024, CF 632. The court has also received an addendum to the plea form. Ms. Borden, Ms. Smith, do you wish to walk me through the terms of the agreement?
Yes, Judge, in exchange, Mr. Stearns will be entering a plea in the 693 case, the counts 1 through 20, the state will be actually counts on all process 21 through 60. It's going to run concurrently with the 1293 case and adjudication of the STE life concurrent, and then officially
Thank you. And state as to the addendum. I'm going to ask the folks that have joined us remotely to please mute their microphones. State any special considerations in the addendum to the plea form.
No, Your Honor, we are just incorporating the plea addendum into the.
State of Florida filed a notice of intent to seek the penalty of death. That was on June 7th, 2024. Is the state formally going to be withdrawing that notice of intent to seek the penalty of death?
After the acceptance of the plea announcement.
Thank you. Should that announcement be made by the state of Florida, the proposed sentence will be the maximum sentence allowed by law. Mr. Simmons, I'm going to place you under oath.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to enter into this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. I have 2 plea forms in my hand. One document looks like this. Second document looks like this. They're each plea forms for your respective cases. They each have a signature. That signature is the same on both plea documents. That signature is next to my finger. Can you tell me if that is your signature?
It's hard to tell from here.
Will you provide these forms?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defendant?
Yes, it is.
What your signature and a set of initials after each of the 26 paragraphs on each document, those initials being SS, tell me is that you have had an opportunity to read these documents. Do you have any difficulty reading and writing the English language?
I have no difficulty.
And your signature indicates that you are aware of each of the 26 paragraphs and all of the terms and conditions of these 2 documents. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I have a secondary document. It is an addendum to the plea form. That document is 4 pages long. It appears to have the same initials on the bottom of each of the pages, as well as a signature at the conclusion of the case along with your attorney, Ms. Borden and Ms. Smith. I'm going to ask the deputies to please provide this document to you, and I'm going to ask you to verify that this is your signature.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, it is.
What What your signature on this document tells me is that you have had an opportunity to read this document, go over it with your attorneys, and you understand the 13 additional conditions of your plea agreement. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Each of the plea form goes over what your trial rights would be. In 2024 CF 1293, you are charged with the allegation of first-degree premeditated murder. In 2024 CF 632, you are charged with 60 counts. The first 9 counts being sexual battery with a child 12 to 18 years of age, counts 10 through 13 being sexual battery with a child 12 to 18 years of age, counts 14 through 20 being lewd or lascivious molestation, counts 21 through 60 being unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child 10 or more.
I am too, M. Blanc. I'm real upset over that.
1 through 8 are sexual battery on a child under 12.
My apologies. Counts 1 through 8 are capital sexual battery on a child under 12. The plea form contemplates in 2024 CF 1293, 1 count of murder, first degree, capital offense. Plea form 124 CF 632 contemplates counts 1 through 8, 9 through 13, 14 through 20. With the representation that the state of
darling.
Florida is withdrawing
darling,
their
good to
notice
see
of intention
you.
to seek the penalty of death upon acceptance of this plea, the maximum potential sentence on 24 CF 1293 would be life in prison without possibility of parole. Has the maximum sentence been explained to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in 24 CF 632, counts 1 through 8, the maximum potential sentence would be a mandatory sentence of life in prison without possibility of
I
parole.
pray
9
Kentucky
through
life.
13 and 14 through 20 would be first-degree felony allegations with a maximum potential sentence of up to life in prison. You understand those maximum potential sentences on that case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that you have a right to have a jury trial as to each of these allegations? And at the jury trial, the state of Florida would have to prove those allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. At that trial, your attorneys would be with you. They are experienced, board-certified criminal expert trial attorneys. They would be cross-examining witnesses, examining the evidence against you. You would have a right to present your own witnesses and your own evidence. If you had witnesses that did not want to come to court, you could have asked me to make them come to court with a subpoena. You could have spoke at your trial, or you could have exercised your right to remain silent and not spoken. That would have been your decision after you talked those decisions over.
Thank you for being here, sweetheart.
Your jury would have been instructed not to consider your decision to remain silent in any way in rendering the verdict. You would have had a right to have your trial recorded and appeal any errors that occurred in the process. Do you understand you are giving up all of your trial rights if the court accepts this plea? Because I will be imposing the sentence that you have agreed with the state of Florida to be imposed upon you, and we will not be having a trial on any of these matters. Do you understand those things?
I understand.
And Your Honor, just for record purposes, counts 9 through 13 are first-degree felonies punishable by life, as the court indicated. Count 14 through 20 are actually life felonies.
These are life felonies with a minimum mandatory of 25 years. Is life a required sentence, or would that be a punishable by life offense?
It's a life, punishable by life offense. I just wanted the record to be clear. This court indicated first-degree felonies, punishable by life. I just wanted the record to be clear that 14 through 20 are life felonies with 25-year minimum mandatories.
So the plea form indicates that these are first-degree felonies. These are actually either capital offenses or punishable by life offenses. Do you understand that, Mr. Stearns?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anyone forcing you or pressuring you into make the decision to resolve your case this way?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone made you any other promises other than what has been presented to you as the agreed-upon sentence?
No, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or mental issues that cause you not to understand the decision that you are making?
I am not.
Do you understand if you are not a United States citizen, that entry of this plea would subject you to deportation proceedings?
Yes.
And if you ever before had been convicted of a sexually violent or a sexually motivated offense, entry of this plea would have subjected you to involuntary civil at the conclusion of any incarcerative sentence. You understand that's the state of Florida law.
Yes.
Ms. Smith, do you have any competency concerns regarding Mr. Stearns' fitness to accept this plea agreement?
No, Judge.
Ms. Borden?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Stearns, based on your responses to the court, based on your indicating that you have reviewed this decision with your attorneys, based on your initialing of the plea form and your acknowledgement that you understand all the terms and conditions, rights and obligations on these plea forms, including the addendum, the court is going to make a determination that you are alert, that you have had an opportunity to discuss this with your attorneys, that you are making this decision freely and voluntarily and without coercion. The court accepts your plea. Let me see the attorneys.
No, with this plea, he will not be getting out. No. Florida don't play, honey. They don't like it. They don't like these people. Yeah, and the dang taxpayers will have to pay the bill for him being incarcerated. You know, they're having a meeting, Holly. So that's sick in itself. I don't want to pay for this son of a bitch. I'm just saying. Yeah, they got it silent for a minute. They're having a sidebar. I can tell you right now, everybody in the state of Florida that's a taxpayer, oh my God, they're gritting their teeth right now. A little bit more than that, I'm just saying.
Court has had discussion with the parties regarding the plea of no contest as to 24 CF 1293, first degree premeditated murder of Madeline Soto. Mr. Stearns, how do you plea to first degree premeditated murder in 24 CF 1293?
No contest.
And as to counts 1 through 8, capital sexual battery of Madeline Soto while she was under the age of 12. Counts 9 through 13, sexual battery of Madeline Soto between the ages of 12 and 18. And counts 14 through 20, lewd or lascivious molestation. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Prior to sentencing, does the state care to offer any victim impact testimony?
Your Honor, the first will be a written statement from Madeline's maternal grandmother. Yolanda Zambrano. Today I stand before you with a broken soul. I am Madeline's grandmother, but to her I was not grandma. Madeline always called me mama. She decided that since she was little, and that's how I felt with her, like a second mother who loved her with all my heart. Madeline was a happy little girl. She loved going shopping with me. That excited her so much that it felt like everything around us turned into color. I remember her face lighting up when we went to the stores. Holding hands, laughing together in those moments, we connected. I felt like she knew she was loved, protected, and valued. At night, we loved to play. It was in those moments, just before bed, that she laughed the most. Sometimes it's hard for me to close my eyes because I still hear her laughter. It was free, sweet, and sincere laugh, a sound I will never forget as long as I live. But that laughter was silenced by a horrific act. The very man who betrayed her trust, her innocence, her body. And if that wasn't enough damage, he took her life. And with her, he killed a piece of our souls. Since then, life has never been the same. Our family is empty and broken. There are days when the pain is so great that I feel like I'm drowning. And every time I think of everything she could have been, everything that was stolen from her, it hurts even more. Because Maddie wasn't just a victim. She was a little girl with a beautiful future, with a unique light, with so much love to give and receive. Today I am here because Maddie can no longer speak, but I can as her grandmother. As someone who loved her with all that I am, I come to ask for justice for her memory, for everything she lived through and should never have lived through. Justice so that no one else has to go through such a horror. I will never forget Maddie, her voice, her laughter, her eyes, her dreams. All of that lives in me, and so it will live forever. My beautiful girl, one day we will be reunited and we will never be separated again. I love you with all my heart. Thank you for listening to me with deep pain and eternal love.
This is a statement from Angelica Negro Guerrero. My name is Angelica Negro Guerrero. I lived with Maddie and Jennifer in the same house for about 2.5 years. Today, I take the liberty of expressing myself not just as a roommate, but as part of the family, as Maddie told me several times. How can I explain how this tragedy has impacted my life? There are so many emotions. I am an immigrant and I have lived in this country for 4 years. I left my country, Venezuela, alone with just a suitcase in my hand in search of a better future. Venezuela has been going through the worst moment in history, run by people blinded by power and money, people who have stolen the future of so many. I've always been against injustice, abuse, corruption, and evil in general. I couldn't picture myself living in a country where I had to witness every single day how a small corrupt group destroyed countless families and the beauty of my nation. And that's exactly why it has been so devastating for me to experience something so tragic, so close to me after coming here with a hope for a better life. I ended up living under the same roof with a man who took the life of a 13-year-old girl, and with that shattered an entire family. What is the point of having dreams, plans, and opportunities if there is no life? If there is so much evil in the world? How can I explain what I felt and how this has affected me, especially considering that this same man took nude photos of my body without my consent, violating my privacy? I felt invaded, outraged, degraded, anguished, and absolutely shattered. I constantly think that my life was in danger too. I could have died. I am also a victim. And the only reason I'm here to write this is because God is
Oh my
great, and
God,
I
she's
know
making
I'm under his
herself a
protection.
victim. No, I don't like this lady
This has
already.
affected my emotional, physical, and financial stability. I haven't been able to live with strangers ever again. Right now, I rent an apartment by myself. I pay it with all my effort just to feel safe and at peace. If I already had trouble trusting people before, now it's even harder. I can't imagine even handling a neighbor too close because it gives me anxiety. I tried to get psychological help to move forward, but this is something that will forever remain in my memory.
And do you hear her, Sherry? Aunt
To
Sherry?
this day, I wish I could wake up and realize none of this ever happened.
She's making
This
herself
was
a
just
victim.
enough.
What?
I wish I could still be spending time with Maddie, making her arepas with cheese and butter like she loved, and practicing our languages together. Me learning English and her learning Spanish. I'll never forget the words she always told Jennifer. Mommy, I would love to learn Spanish so I can talk a lot with Angelica. I think about all the time, and I wish it had been me who spoke English fluently back then. Maybe she would have opened up to me
I
about the
know.
hell she was going
I
through
know
with
it was
that
a
horrible
roommate.
man. I want justice for Madeline and for all the girls and women who
In my
have lived
opinion,
and
though,
witnessed
she's still
something
making herself
similar.
a
I
victim.
want him to pay for all the pain he caused her and the beautiful family I love with all my heart. I send all my love to the sky to Madeline so her soul may find peace. Angelica.
No, I know not crazy. It's the roommate. She's making
This is
herself a
from
victim.
Zamina Zambrano,
Listen to it
a
again.
cousin to Maddie Soto. To the Honorable Court, we write this letter with broken hearts still aching from the devastating loss of our beloved Maddie Soto. The pain of losing her is something no family should ever have to endure. But the nature of her death, the cruelty, the abuse, the inhumanity has inflicted a level of trauma and sorrow that words can scarcely convey. Maddie was more than a victim. She was a daughter, a granddaughter, a cousin, a niece, and a cherished soul in our close-knit and loving family. To know her was to love her. Her spirit, her kindness, and her light remained with us, even though her life was so brutally taken. She was not only murdered, she was discarded like she was nothing, thrown into the wilderness. That image haunts our minds and wounds our hearts every day. Our grief has been compounded by the public scrutiny and the cruelty of strangers who speculate and judge without knowing the depth of our loss or the strength of our bond. We are a large family rooted in love, faith, and mutual support, and this tragedy has shaken us to our core mentally, emotionally, and physically. Many of us suffer sleepless nights, constant anxiety, and depression. The trauma has left scars that will last a lifetime. We turn to God for comfort and we trust that divine justice will ultimately be done. But we also place our faith in this court to uphold what is just and right. Maddie deserves that. Our family deserves that. We beg you to consider the profound impact this crime has had, not just on one individual, but on an entire family and community. Please ensure that the individual who committed this horrifying act is held fully accountable. Justice for Maddie cannot bring her back, but it can ensure that her life and her death are not dismissed or dishonored. Let there be no leniency for this cruelty. Let there be no question about the value of her life. Let justice be done. Sincerely, Jimena, please, on behalf of the Zambrano family.
Ma'am, can you tell the court your name?
My name is Letizia Nunez. I was Madeline's aunt.
Can you spell your first and last name for the court reporter?
Letizia, last name Nunez, Nunez. To Maddie. When I was 7 years old, a beautiful newborn baby was brought into our lives. And I remember being so excited because I was going to be an aunt. You gave me a sense of responsibility from such a young age because I wanted nothing more at that time than to help take care of you, play with you, and overall just make you a happy baby. You're truly missed every single day. I miss your laugh. I miss your smile. I miss your big, beautiful blue eyes. I miss doing the little things like picking you up from school, helping you with your homework, even though we both hated doing that. I just miss you and your presence. But that unfortunately was taken from us. I have so much hatred in my heart, specifically for the creature that's sitting in this room today. And no matter what happens or what justice could be brought, it kills me that it doesn't bring me back. I would give up my life if it meant having you here with us. Even though I was your aunt, you always felt much more like a little sister to me. Doing your hair for the father-daughter dances that my dad would take you to, letting you pick out clothes from my closet, doing your makeup and making sure it was very light because your natural beauty was worth more than any makeup product money could buy. I just miss you every single day, and it's left a hole in my heart from the day you've been gone. Your innocence was taken from you, and since clearly that wasn't enough for a certain someone, so was your life. You were the bravest little girl I've ever met, full of love, light, laughter, and as any positive thing I could think of, you were all of those things. I'm so blessed to have spent 13 years with someone so wonderful, and you're going to live on through all of us. Not because of what happened to you, because that didn't define who you were. I'm going to make sure my future kids know who you are, and make sure my grandkids know who you are, and so on. Today I sit here before everyone, and all I can say is that despite what anyone thinks they know, you were so loved by each and every one of your family members, and I know you felt you left this world knowing that. I know it would pain you to see what people have to say about your loved ones, but what I think of it all is that, and what I'd want you to think up in heaven is that it's all just noise. And I find comfort in the fact that we, your family, know you were beyond loved and beyond cared for. I'm so sorry we found out too late. But despite everything that was happening to you behind closed doors, you still remained one of the happiest human beings I've ever met. Someone who loved us deeply and made us all smile. Trying to find light in this horrible situation is very difficult, but one thing I am grateful for is that your last day on this earth was everything you wanted and more. You got the birthday you asked for. Your best friends were able to be with you. We cooked the food you specifically asked for, and overall, I have the memory of sitting outside by my pool looking at you and your friends and just thinking, I'm so glad she's having a great time. And look at how grown up she is. How she's blossoming into such an amazing young woman. I could go on forever, but I just want to leave this here by saying I love you so much, and I miss you endlessly. Everything I do from now on, any accomplishments, any decisions I make, anything that happens in my life, I'm gonna do it for you and in your honor. I love you, Madeline Sophia Soto, and I hope you're resting peacefully now.
Can you tell the court your name and then spell your first and last name for the court reporter?
Natalie Rosero, Nathalie. Thank you, Your Honor, for for having me here today. I've known the family for over 15 years. I am best friends with Maddie's aunt and was roommates with Maddie and her mom during the time her life was ended. All of our kids are the same age, so we always try to keep them united and spend as many holidays together. I have years worth of beautiful pictures, birthdays, Christmas, and Easters we all spent together. Those are the moments I try to hold on to as I stand here today.
I agree.
I'm here to express what the past year and a half has been like in my experience. From the moment we found out that Maddie went missing, life has never been the same. Those first 48 hours we set out to look for her, we spread flowers, went knocking on door to door, going to every business on John Young Parkway from Kissimmee to Sand Lake, asking for the public's help. All while seeing my best friend and her family have emotional breakdowns, feeling completely helpless and terrified for Maddie, thinking how could anyone just take her? It turns out we spent almost 3 days looking in the wrong location because Sephin lied to us about where he last saw her. Your Honor, that's the first time in my life I've ever felt true hate for anyone. The following days were filled with more sadness and distraught. We went from searching for a missing person to looking for a body. I had been searching for her as if my son was missing, so it was very difficult to accept that. We spent the rest of the week canvassing St. Cloud until they eventually found her body. Although there was a moment of relief that at least her body was found, that was the last sense of relief I've felt since that day. I was confident I had the power of discernment, but I couldn't even see the evil living in the same house. As details of the sexual abuse and her death came to light, you start to question everything. I even questioned my own faith. Having a full night's sleep became a luxury I could not afford. I was too anxious to sleep, constantly wanting to wake up from a nightmare. It wasn't until I started wishing death on him that I realized I needed help. I started going to therapy to try to deal with the grief and anger of losing Maddie the way we did. I also had to navigate my son's emotions as he finds out the cruelty that exists in this world. Holidays are not the same. The void is loud. It's hard to trust people. I am very guarded. I am hoping that when everything here is said and done, there can be some type of closure, even though Maddie's life can never be replaced. That is the only reason I am here today. As decisions are made, please keep in mind that she wasn't even my child, and I feel this way. I cannot imagine the pain, trauma, and deception that Maddie's family has experienced. I do not wish this pain and suffering on any other child or family. Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Stephanie online would like to address the board.
We're joined by an online presence. Stephanie, you may unmute your microphone and let the court know how this has affected your family and yourself.
Can you tell the court your first and last name and spell them, please?
I can see that her microphone is still muted.
Can you hear me, Judge?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, hi. Sorry. To the court. Maddie brought a light into. Sorry. Maddie brought a light into my life that I would never be able to describe. With her outgoing personality and her infectious smile. her infectious laugh. She was so kind-hearted, adventurous, and loving. Now that she's gone, everything's changed. The silence where her laughter used to be is deafening. The hole in my heart is bottomless, and the pain is indescribable. My family's life has been shattered. What we've endured and what we will continue to endure for the rest of our lives is a kind of pain that I do not wish on anyone. No family should have to lose a loved one in this horrible manner, especially at such too young. Her life was taken. Her future, I should say, never see her fall in love, get married, or build a future that she deserved. With her. This smile in her, this
Appears the connection is no longer established.
You return it. I can finish reading it, Judge.
Rejoin.
I'm so sorry. I'm not in a good place with connection. I apologize.
You may continue. We can
This
hear you.
This vile and heartless crime has not only affected and traumatized my family, but so many other families as well. It has also impacted her friends, all of those who knew her, as well as the whole community. There are nights where I can't sleep, nights where I wake up gasping for air, haunted by what Maddie must have gone through. I am consumed by grief. I carry such an anger that it eats away at me on a daily basis. A depression I never thought was possible. The emptiness touches every moment of every day. And everywhere I look, I see her. I hear her laugh in my memories, and then I remember she's gone, and it destroys me all over again. To know what Maddie went through and how terrified she must have been is unbearable. The thought of her suffering haunts me. The cruelty of what was done to her will never stop echoing in my mind. I asked the court for something that I know I could never really have, justice. Because real justice would mean that Maddie would be here with us and not you. You still get to wake up every day, something you cruelly stole from her and from us. The way you discarded Maddie as if she was nothing and her life had no value is a true reflection of your evil. The suffering you caused her should be given back to you tenfold. You do not deserve peace. You do not deserve mercy. You deserve to carry the weight of her pain every single day, just how we will carry it for the rest of our lives. And let me be perfectly clear. Where you go after this life will not be where Maddie is. She is in a place of peace surrounded by love. You, on the other hand, will never know peace. You will never see her again. You're not going where she is going. You're going to hell. Thank you, court.
And Stephanie, can you tell the court your first and last name, please?
Stephanie Soto.
Thank you.
Stephanie Soto. Did you get it? I'm sorry.
Ms. Soto, we can hear you. Thank you for your statement.
Thank you.
Afternoon, Your Honor.
Can you tell the court your first and last name and spell them?
Kimberly Vialta. Your Honor, I stand here today to give you a little insight of how loved and how losing Maddie has destroyed my family. Although Maddie was not my blood, I considered her my family. And I loved her like my own niece. Maddie was a kind and bubbly child and was growing up to be the most amazing young lady. She loved arts and crafts, Taylor Swift, and sour gummy candy. I had the honor and privilege of spending many holidays and special occasions with Maddie over the years, and I will cherish those memories forever. I do not have joy or happiness left in me because this monster took that away from us when he killed Maddie. Every day I feel like life is not worth living anymore because such heinous evil exists in this world. There is not a day that goes by where I do not think about all the pain and suffering that Maddie endured. This monster took advantage of her trust and her innocence. This parasite robbed us of every moment we could have had with Maddie. And our lives will never be the same. A life sentence is not punishment enough for what he did to Maddie. However, it gives me comfort to know that he will spend the rest of his miserable life in prison. I hope he lives a long and healthy life, so he suffers every single day. Therefore, I ask the court to not take any mercy on this poor excuse of a human when imposing his sentence, because he does not deserve it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Can you let the court know your names?
My name is Tyler Wallace.
Tatiana Wallace.
Tyler, what's your relationship to Madeline Soto?
Madeline Soto was my daughter.
Go ahead.
Madeline Soto was my daughter. She was happiness. She was a joy to be around. She was quirky and intelligent. She was curious. A little forgetful like me too. That happens sometimes, but I just loved her so much. And I was not able to be in her life as much as I would like to, due to circumstances and choices I'd made, due to the way finances worked. I was strained in my relationship with my daughter, and that was finally getting better. The last time I saw her was in October of 2023, and she had come to visit for a few days. And when I took her back to the airport, I said, you know, you're turning 13 soon. When you turn 13, you have a choice of which guardian you're interested in staying with. Would you like to stay with me and talk to you? And she said yes, that she would. And so I was this close to having my little girl, sir. Because of the actions of this depraved man, I will never meet the woman she was becoming. And I can't grasp it. I can't grasp the selfishness of you, the deplorability of your actions. You're depraved. You're weak. You're a coward. You're a sneak thief. You crept into a family and took advantage and exploited them when they were weak. It's torn my family apart. It's led to arguments about who can go where and who can get what and who can help who, but we're all on edge because it doesn't heal with time. This isn't like other deaths that I've experienced. This just gets worse. It just gets worse every time I rethink about it and the true horror of what this man visited upon her. And I can only hope that he lives a long time in prison and has those same horrors revisited upon him by his fellow inmates. Thank you.
State has no further witnesses.
Defense, any input prior to sentencing? State, do you have additional input?
you please tell the court your name?
Okay, my name is Leslie Vajalta.
And how are you related to?
I'm a close friend of Maddie's family. Most people only know Maddie as the victim of a heinous crime, but I'd like to talk about Maddie today, and I'd like to share some things that I really loved about her. I loved how fearless Maddie was. She was an amazing swimmer. She was a fast learner. The moment she set her mind to something, she did it. That's how she was about everything. She dove into everything head first, and she was so resilient. She had the most beautiful smile. It lit up our entire life. Every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, I was so excited to see her, to talk to her about her life. She's so curious, she's so smart. She could sing, she loved to perform for us. Maddie enjoyed watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Bob's Burgers. She even dressed up as Louise one year for Halloween. And I loved her witty, outspoken personality. She's so funny. And that's how I want everyone to leave here thinking about her, remembering her. She lost a lot of privacy towards the end of her life. And I want her to be remembered by her amazing qualities, not the abuse she endured and the exploitation she endured by her abuser. There's not 1 second of my life that I don't think about Maddie. I'll forever celebrate her in my heart and out loud. Maddie was too good for the world, but she did not deserve any of this. Ever since she's been gone, our family, our joy, everything is destroyed. No one smiles anymore, no one laughs. Most days I can't even leave my house. I feel like I can't breathe. And I'm not even her blood relative. I was just so lucky to be a part of life. He took Maddie away from us. He took away her whole childhood. He took away all her potential that we saw in her, and he took everything from us. And now it's time for him to reap what he sows. This disgusting parasite stole Maddie's youth, her innocence, her life, her joy. He has stolen our sense of safety. I can't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see his disgusting face. I can imagine what he did to her. I know every detail. I've read everything. I will never bring children into this world because of people like him, depraved, disgusting maggots just like him. He's not the only one. May God forgive him because I definitely do not. I please ask the court to prosecute him to the fullest extent. Show no mercy, exactly how he did Maddie. Justice for Maddie. Thank you.
Okay.
Nothing further.
That's any input prior to submission.
Yes, Your Honor, we would like to thank the State Attorney's Office for sparing Mr. Stearns' life. And we do sincerely hope that this will bring closure and help to start the healing process for Ms. So's.
Court has accepted Mr. Stearns' plea of no contest for the first-degree premeditated murder of Madeline Soto and his plea of guilty to 8 counts of sexual battery on Madeline Soto under the age of 12, sexual battery upon Madeline Soto between the ages of 12 and 18 in a familial custodial role, and lewd or lascivious molestation, counts 14 through 20. State, do you have an announcement as to the notice of intent to seek the penalty of death?
Honor, we will waive the notice of intent to seek death. We will file an electronic null pros for counts 21 through 60. And we are also asking that you inquire about waiving a PSI, just in abundance of caution.
Based on the announcement from the state of Florida, the maximum potential sentence in these cases is life in prison without the possibility of parole, as the notice of intent to seek the penalty of death has been waived. Ms. Smith, as to 2024 CF 632, is there a waiver of an entitlement to a pre-sentence investigation?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Gordon, as to the remaining case 2024 CF 1293, is there a waiver of entitlement to a pre-sentence investigation?
Yes, he is not entitled to a PSI on this.
board has had an opportunity to hear the anguish and the fury of shattered families. Everyone in the gallery has had an opportunity to hear the anguish and the fury of community mourning and permanently diminished. Folks joining us around the state and the country remotely have heard the opportunity to hear the anguish and fury of a meaningful future that was stolen, and a beautiful promise of Madeline Soto's life extinguished permanently. Sephin Stearns, you have had the opportunity to hear that anguish and fury from your actions. As to first-degree premeditated murder of Madeline Soto, you are adjudicated guilty and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. As to the capital sexual battery of Madeline Soto while she was under the age of 12, for each count, you are sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For the sexual battery of Madeline Soto between the ages of 12 and 18, you are adjudicated guilty and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The lewd and lascivious molestation of Madeline Soto, you are sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. These sentences will run concurrently, meaning at the same time. The state of Florida has withdrawn their notice of intent to seek the penalty of death. These are the maximum sentences permitted to the court. Each case will have court costs that will be reduced to a civil judgment.
2024 CF 632, court costs are $11,163. As to 24 CF 1293, $666.
Court incorporates the addendum to the plea form as to each plea in 2024 CF 632 and 2024 CF 1293. Not announced. You are adjudicated guilty as counts 1 through 8, 24 CF 632. State any further sentencing considerations?
Yes, Your Honor. With regards to count 14 through count 20 in 24 CF 632, the court sentenced to life in prison, there is a 25-year minimum mandatory with that as well. The state also provided the court with a score sheet which encompasses counts 9 through 20. It includes penetration and contact points as well. A copy of that has been provided to defense as well in the court. I haven't been made aware of any corrections or additions or subtractions.
I do not have a copy of this.
Should be with the plea form, Your Honor.
It's not. I'm going to need a copy of the score sheet, please. Ms. Smith, Ms. Borden, the total sentence points pursuant to the Criminal Punishment Code score sheet are 1,278 with a lowest permissible prison sentence in months of 937.5 months. That doesn't include sexual penetration points of 80 times 5 and sex contact points of 40 times 7. Any errors, corrections, or omissions to the score sheet? Ms. Smith? Ms. Borden?
No, Your Honor.
25-year minimum mandatory sentence as to the counts requiring a minimum mandatory sentence are imposed. Mr. Stearns, you will have the right to appeal the judgment and sentences of the court. If you wish to do so, you must do so in writing within the next 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. The appeal will be limited to the jurisdiction of the court to impose the sentence. Legality of the sentence itself is a condition of your agreement with the state of Florida. You are agreeing not to appeal the pretrial rulings of the court. State, anything else? Defense, anything else? Thank you. Let's place Mr. Stearns under, he's been previously placed under oath.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to make a brief statement. I agree that it's not fair that Madeline is not here anymore. I still have a hard time contemplating a world where she's not around, a world which feels less vibrant and less colorful than it did before. I've prayed to God countless times to trade places with her, to take me instead. And unfortunately, that's just not how he works. I have nothing but sorrow for her loss, and I miss her all the time. Her passing has torn me and my family apart as well, and she truly was a joy. I pray to God that she is in heaven and that he's taking good care of her. And I hope she gets to join the choir because she had a beautiful voice. I will miss her all the time. I will never not honor her memory. And I apologize for all the pain.
Anything further, defense? Conclude our plea and sentencing hearing. We'll be in recess.
She's somewhere scared they're gonna put her ass in jail. They should.
Sorry for the delay. Get started in about 5 minutes.
Not a problem, Judge. Thank you.
Holy crap. Okay. So let me get this off of here. Thank you to Court TV. They're always good about letting everybody share their stuff. And exactly, Green Eyes. Oh my God. I just want to go through the screen sometimes, y'all. His impact statement. Thank you, Green Eyes. He is a sicko. In my opinion, he made that all about himself. I miss Maddie. I bet you do, you MFer. I miss Maddie. This tore my family apart. What? You know, his dad has a lot of control. Her dad, I apologize, has a lot of control because I know he gave her the opportunity and stuff, but if that was my daughter, as I was walking back or to that podium, I would have been in jail today because I would have tried to choke the shit out of him, and I'm not playing about that. Her mother, yes, y'all have been asking because see, I thought she got immunity. She may have, but as I was doing a little more research, she may have been advised not to speak. We all know it's not because she's grieving, and in my opinion, let me just say that, and because that would be why a parent didn't speak or something like that. However, somebody could have spoke for her just like they spoke for somebody else. But y'all are asking, and yes, they say yes, that her mother can still be charged if prosecutors determine she had criminal liability, knowledge, or neglect that contributed to Maddie's abuse or death. However, as of now, she has not been charged with any crime, as we know. I mean, how sickness. If prosecutors can prove, and to me, how can you have your 12-year-old daughter and less at that time sleep in the bed with your boyfriend, arrange that, and you don't call that neglect? I don't know. But if prosecutors can prove her mother knew or should have known about Stephen Stern's sexual abuse and failed to act, she could face those child neglect and endangerment charges, failure to report, accessory or complicity charges, and the living situation concerns. They're all a concern. How could they not know? I pray they're coming too, Paige. I do. You know, new evidence, any new testimony, grand jury is convinced, or DCF is convinced, yeah, she'll face charges. But for her not to show up for her daughter today, that also speaks volumes. I'm sorry that I'm telling the truth. Yeah, she's guilty of sin, Miss Bessie. Sometimes authorities, they do wait to charge the caregiver until the primary person, like this idiot right here, this devil right here, is convicted, to make sure that they have a secure case, and then they can go back and prosecute. And I'm gonna tell you, Florida don't play. I don't care what nobody says about nothing. So they still may go back and get that wench. That's as nice as I can put it. That's as nice as I can put it today. I just cannot believe, in my opinion, 12 years old, 12 years old, and he wants to talk about, I mean, he should have just kept his damn mouth shut. He wants to talk about how he missed her, misses her, and his family was tore up. What is he even talking about? What is he even talking about? You know, I don't understand. That makes no sense. The only I felt sorry for the aunt for her victim impact statement, and I felt sorry for the grandmother. I know what it's like to be close. Maybe she was so close, though, she didn't know. That is a possibility. Sometimes everybody don't know everything. But I called my grandmother mama, and when that happens, that tells me how close they really were. But these secrets, these 6 secrets that they kept in this house, oh my God, it's beyond words. Maddie's 12 years old. Always will be 12. She had a full potential ahead of her, her entire life, ripped away by someone who should have never been near her. Should have never been near her. Her life was stolen. Her innocence was stolen. Her dreams, her laughter, all the milestones. Her father's right, her real father. He'll never get to walk her down the aisle or anything. Just the enjoyment. What was stolen was her entire life. Everything. You know, I hope everybody in this world knows her name. She mattered. She still matters. They say she could sing. Wow, I would have loved to hear that. You know, full of hope. And then Stephen Stearns sit there while everybody, in my opinion, everybody spoke, looking head on. He didn't give a care about her or her life or who he hurt, in my opinion. And I think it was Lisa asking, he'll have 30 days to appeal, but he won't, because he took this plea deal. After 30 days, it's over. It's over. But in the 30 days, if he appeals, if he's stupid enough to do that, and I don't think he is, he knows absolutely he's going to die. He's probably going to die in there anyway, sooner rather than later, by the hands of somebody else, in my opinion. Again, I don't care what you say about Florida or the people in prison in Florida. They don't play with people who mess with children or anything about children. He said nobody's forcing him. Nobody's pressuring him to take this plea deal. He said no, it was clear. And even if he wanted to appeal, he's not going to be able to. I think he's very soulless, in my opinion. I think he's very soulless. So the court accepted his plea. And, you know, thank God, unfortunately, all of us taxpayers are going to be having to pay for the rest of his life. I don't know if y'all realize or not, when you're in jail, especially in Florida, you still have to pay jail fees. Well, you know, he won't, but, you know. I don't know. I hope they put him in general population. But you know what? It'll catch up to him because, you know, he may not be in general population now. But one day, he'll be out there, or he'll be doing something, or he'll be coming around those stairs that has no camera, where it's a blind spot in the prison, and they'll get him, in my opinion. That's my opinion. All I need, Jesus, is Jesus Coffee and True Crime. Is today your birthday, honey? Happy birthday. Come back in here tonight. Smiley don't feel like singing happy birthday today because this is such a sad occasion. But if you come back in here tonight and remind me, I promise you I will sing you happy birthday, honey. Oh, it's tomorrow. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. I'm glad it wasn't this nasty day. That's for sure. This Angela lady, I just want to speak on her a minute. The Angela lady that said she was a roommate with them. I think there was two of them, but the first one, Angela, she lived with them and she did an impact statement and she was from out of the country and all that. And I'm just telling you that my first thoughts on her was bad. First impressions is never good, but the deal with her was she said she lived with them over 2 years. But in my opinion, she made that statement all about her. I could have been killed. Yeah, you could have. But you could have also told you're the one that saw him in the bed. You're the one that was there doing whatever it was you was doing to be in this country. I'm just saying, and I'm not making it country versus not being in the country, whatever. I call bullshit. How do you make a victim impact statement and make it about you? That was disturbing to me. She made herself a victim. You know, he looked on again as everything was red, just as if he was watching a movie, just as if he was looking at the judge. He had nothing. I can't even believe he gave a statement. But Holly's right. For better or worse, at least he gave one. But her mother? Yeah, I believe they carefully orchestrated it. I honestly do. You know, about this case, I could not have done it if it was a trial. I just couldn't have. This is sick. And all I can remember about this case is I keep going back to every time, or the very first, I shouldn't say every time, but the very first, when her mother was taken up for him. And in that interview, the mother was sitting on his lap and rubbing his head and talking about, we don't know where Maddie's at. That woman is a demon. She's more than a demon. Thank you, Angel Wings. Yeah, it wasn't that long. You can rewind it. They gave their impact statements today. You can forward it to that. Maddie's aunt, one of her aunts, that broke my heart. That broke my heart. She said she'll never let her kids forget who Maddie was. That aunt, is hurting, and you can tell. You know, she was proud to be an aunt. She was proud of all the things. They had the Natalie ladies speak, Rosa whatever, Rosa Vero. You know, she'd known the family over 15 years. He didn't care. He just sat there. He just sat there. He gave no respect, in my opinion, no value to her life. And he had to, again, make it sick on himself and all those things. At the end. You know, horrible. I've been sitting here watching what y'all are saying. I tried to put it up. There's just no excuse. I thank y'all for being here and sharing this experience to see this monster go down. If he goes down further, we'll be here to cover that as well. I don't like nobody who does nothing to kids. I'm sorry. This is breaking, you know, my heart. It breaks hearts all over the world. Maddie mattered, and she still matters. And as you heard, she was full of life and full of sparkle. Life in prison without parole, folks. He got it. Sentences concurrently will run together, and he has a civil judgment. They know he's not going to be able to pay that $11,163. I'm going to tell you, it's not about money. Nobody gives a freak about money. I care that Maddie gets justice. And I pray, I made her a little poem. I posted it. But I pray that she gets where she is in heaven now, resting in peace, and all the things. No more sorrow, no more pain. I'm sorry she was failed by the world. And if I could tell her that, I would tell her you were failed by the world and the people that should have protected you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She mattered. She mattered. So I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you. Absolutely. I hope she never has no peace in this free world. I hope everywhere she goes, everybody knows her. I hope they never forget her face, the mother I'm speaking of. She also, in or out of prison, deserves anything and everything she gets. I'm sorry. I'm sorry because some people on YouTube will think I'm mean and cruel. But I'm not sorry, and I'm not going to apologize for what I'm saying. It's the truth, and it's my truth. And it's Maddie's truth, actually. So thank you all for joining me today. Thank you again to Court TV. Thank you to my mods. Thank you, Crazy, Not Crazy by Crazy Lady, for putting up everything that you did and helping me out with that. I appreciate you. I know this particular one is a trigger for you. In that respect, I am glad there was no trial because we didn't need all those dirty deeds. I see y'all around today. Y'all have a great day. Thank you so much. Love you. Bye.